Hi, I'm Stephan Kesting, and I've got a hypothetical question for you. All right, so let's say you get in a fight with somebody, and let's say that person's a watermelon, because strangely, I couldn't find anyone to volunteer for this. So you're there. You knock the person out with a beautiful right cross. You knock that person out with an uppercut, and he goes down. There he is. So here's my question to you. As you can see, my attacker is knocked out. He's lying there on the street. Are you ethically, morally, and legally justified to run over, pick up a giant piece of concrete, and smash his head in? Now, obviously the answer is no. It's not okay to keep hitting him, especially with a piece of concrete after the threat is neutralized, after he's unconscious. I'm no lawyer, but I think most judges and most courts, except maybe those in Texas, would agree with me on this point. And here's the problem. Because I was doing some research for an article I was writing on self-defense tutorials, and I found lots and lots of examples of people getting hit in the head, getting knocked out, and then splitting their skull open on the pavement and going to jail for years. In one case, it was as much as 15 years in prison for hitting somebody, knocking them out, them falling to the ground, splitting their skull, getting hematoma, and dying later in hospital. So we really, as martial artists and people who are interested in self-defense, have to take this second hit into account. There's a tough guy saying that you might be familiar with. Yeah, if you and we fight, there's only gonna be 3 hits. There's gonna be me hitting you, you hitting the ground, and the ambulance hitting 60. That's kind of funny. It's a nice tough guy thing to growl out. But the problem is, if you actually hit somebody, knock them out, that second hit could kill them, and you are legally liable. You're legally responsible for what happens after that first hit. That second hit is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the first hit. I mean, is your fist as hard as a piece of concrete? No. Falling to the ground from 6 feet up and hitting your head on the pavement is like dropping a cinder block off of a second-story balcony onto somebody's head. It's a tremendous amount of force with a really hard object with huge implications for when that piece of skull lands on that piece of pavement. So I'm not saying that hitting somebody in the head has no place in a street fight. Of course it does. Sometimes you have no other choice other than to use your punches, to use your kicks, to use your knees, to use your elbows, and hit the dude in the head and go for the knockout. In fact, I did a video about it on the Self-Defense Tutorials YouTube channel not that long ago about the best places to knock somebody out. So clearly, I do believe in this. The point is though, if you can go for a less lethal option, the most obvious one to me anyhow, being something like the arm drag to standing rear naked choke. That is a much more controllable outcome. It's just as reliable, I would argue more reliable, to put somebody to sleep with a rear naked choke than it is to punch them in the head. You punch them in the head, sometimes they'll fall unconscious, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you'll make them mad, sometimes they'll run away, sometimes they'll pass out. You don't know what's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure that if I put 99.9% of people in a rear naked choke, they're gonna go nighty-bye. They're gonna go to sleep. And that's much more controllable. So long as I'm not putting the pressure across the front of the throat, as long as I'm putting on the sides of the neck and cutting off the blood, I can controllably put that person to sleep. I can nullify the threat. I can put them down on the ground and I can walk away, I can run away. It would suck to win a fight, to win a violent confrontation, and knock the guy out with a beautiful right cross, and then lose by going to jail for 15 years. That's why you need options. You need to be able to run, you need to be able to strike, and you need to be able to grapple. So consider the legal ramifications of what you're gonna do on the streets, always. So if you thought that was useful, 2 suggestions. Number 1, subscribe on YouTube. We put out a lot of good stuff. We're planning on putting out a lot more useful stuff. You wanna be notified. Number 2, and even more importantly, go to selfdefensetutorials.com. On every single page there is a sign up for our email newsletter. We put out some of our very best content by email. They're articles, tips, techniques, training methods, and it's all free. So go to selfdefensetutorials.com, sign up for that email newsletter, and you'll get the stuff that a lot of other people are beginning to get, and that we're getting some really good feedback on. If you don't like what you get, it's easy to unsubscribe at any point. Just click a single link at the bottom, and you're gone forever, and we won't ever bug you again. That being said, I think it's really good material, some of my best material, so go check it out. Anyway, take care and stay safe.